Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at weather next 8 to 10 days. In today's video, it takes up to around the 21st of May. It looks like the weather's going to be staying pretty cool really over the coming period and relatively unsettled as well. It's going to be quite dry up to the middle part of this week and then turning unsettled. And then it may turn a bit drier in the south at the weekend, the north unsettled, and then it's perhaps more generally unsettled again as we go through to next week. So overall, it's a changeable pattern, no sign of the sustained period of high pressure building in. It won't be a washout by any means, but there will be regular periods of unsettled weather in what is a changeable period coming up over the next 7 to 10 days. Now, before I get on with that, just say about the ads. There's links to articles on all the pages at gaswebbiz.com. Have a browse with widgets. If there's any articles that you're interested in, please click through. You'll be able to go and read the article, and thanks so much for doing that. There's also a video ads to most pages, so open up with the content to give them a watch. They'll close back up again. Thanks so much for doing that. At the very end of the video, we'll have a quick look at the latest update for the summer from the UK Met Office. It's just updated this morning, so stick around to the end of the video. So we're going to start off with the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts for the next 7 to 10 days. We've got the ECOWF here on the left, but GFS is over on the right of the screen as you're looking at it. 500 bars, 80,000 feet. Is an area in the atmosphere where high pressure and low pressure are being moved around by jet stream, and essentially that is what weather is, the movement of air by the jet stream. Blue's extrapolating to low pressure, red, orange extrapolating to high pressure. So this takes us around the 21st of May, and what you can see is that both the ECOWF and the GFS are indicating quite a deep trough of low pressure to be sitting to the east and the northeast of the country. GFS is a bit deeper with the trough, but they're both sort of in the same ballpark, and the flow is coming in off the Atlantic in that sort of direction on both of these models. So it's a continuation of what I was talking about at the start of the video. Relatively cool, relatively changeable conditions coming through. It won't be a total washout. There will be drier periods at times, but overall it's just a changeable, unsettled and quite cool pattern taking us through into the final sort of 10 days of the month. Did the video yesterday speculating that we could well be on course for a cooler than average month. It would be our first cooler than average month since August last year, so it's taken quite a long while, but I think it is on the cards now. On the evidence of the charts that we're seeing, I think we're in with a decent chance of getting our first cooler than average month for quite a long time. Here's the GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles. We can see that the red line is the 30-year average, and we're a bit above average for the south of the country anyway. Today we're very, very close to getting a little bit of a heat wave, but the heat's going to stay mainly down over France and the Low Countries. Actually, if you want to know what's happening in terms of the European scene, check out the European Outlook that I released this morning. Find that on the European page, gaswebbiz.com/europe.html. Anyway, we're very close to that heat down in the south, but not quite making it. And after today, the temperatures are going to drop down, and then basically we stick around average. We do bob up and down a little bit as weather systems come through, but overall we won't be deviating that far from the red line, which is the 30-year average. And that sort of takes us through the ensemble really. There's no sign of anything particularly dramatic going on there, either in terms of heat or in terms of cold conditions. And the end of the ensemble is taking us towards the end of May. Actually, this sort of period here is, say, around the 26th, 27th of May. And there's no real sign, even at that point, of anything tremendously dramatic going on. Quite a lot of scatter, of course, as you always get at the extended range of these ensembles. But, yeah, nothing really out of the ordinary, just sticking very close to the 30-year average, which probably means it comes out a bit cooler than average. And in terms of precipitation, the spikes are coming back starting on Thursday, which could be quite a wet day. I'll have a look at that in a moment. And then we've just got regular sort of bands of showery rain coming through. As I say, it's not a washout of a period. There's not huge rainfall spikes being indicated here, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about flooding and torrential rain. Just generally unsettled conditions with showers and at times some longer spells of rain moving through. So the temperature anomaly going from the 11th to the 19th of May comes out cooler than average, significantly so for the north. We've seen anomalies there, perhaps as low as 2 degrees below the 30-year average, but generally all parts of the country a little bit below average over the coming week. In terms of precipitation, that anomaly is coming out around or maybe even a little bit above average. So again, it's a changeable period coming through. Luckily, we're not seeing sort of deep blue colours here on this chart, so we're not in for a very, very wet period, as you can get, of course, at this time of year and going into the summer. It can get very, very wet in certain patterns. We're not looking at anything as dramatic as that, but just a generally unsettled period with the precipitation around or a little bit above average. Now, Thursday is going to be a very wet day down in the south. This is the precipitation forecast from the GFS. This is 6 o'clock in the morning, and we can see that we've got area of rain here down to the southwest across Ireland and southwestern England. That spreads in across England and Wales through the course of Thursday, giving some heavy rain there. Notice Scotland stays dry, so unusually perhaps it's going to be the south, but looks very wet for Thursday, whereas the north should say mainly dry. But that rain could be really quite heavy for a time, and it'll carry on eastwards through the course of Thursday afternoon, finally clearing east and southeastern England by the evening. Could be a notably cold day as well under that rain. These are the maximum temperatures for midday on Thursday. You can see that widely where we've got the heaviest of the rain across England and Wales, temperatures are down into single figures, just 7, 8, 9 degrees. So it really is going to be a dismal day on Thursday if this comes off. It's still a little way off. It may get downgraded a little bit. It might get pushed a bit further southwards actually, and perhaps affect more sort of southern counties and channel type rain. So keep an eye on it, but at the moment it looks like a very notably cold and wet day for many parts of England and Wales on Thursday, with Scotland doing better. Going out beyond that, the changeable conditions stay with us, so the low pressure that brings that rain on Thursday goes off into central parts of Europe through into Friday. It takes a lot of heavy rain and potentially some thunderstorms there. Then high pressure tries to ridge up from the southwest, but it's a pretty weak ridge to be honest, with jet stream still running through the country. And as going to the weekend, we have high pressure close to the southwest, low pressures to the north of Scotland, bringing these westerlies through across the country. England and Wales could get an okay weekend close to that ridge of high pressure. Not sure it'll be very warm, but temperatures will lift up probably a little bit under the sunshine. It should be mostly dry, but you notice low pressure remains very close to the north of Scotland up to Sunday, so we'll be bringing more weather systems through for Scotland and Northern Ireland. Be quite cool and unsettled up there. And as we go out into next week, the signs are that the high pressure pulls back into the central part of the Atlantic and allows this low pressure to come back in from the northwest. So if anything, after a slightly better couple of days over the weekend down in the south, it's likely to turn very unsettled again as we go through to the start of next week. And that low pressure sticks around then as we go through next week, bringing showers or longer spells of rain. Here we are on day 10, 30th to 21st of May. Low pressure firmly over the country, keeping it unsettled, changeable. And if you follow the isobars back, you can see that the air is actually originating somewhere from the North Pole. So it's going to be pretty cool as well as we go through next week if this comes off. As I say, I do think we're in with a decent chance here of getting our first cooler than average month for quite a long while. The east end of the earth is seeing this as well. The low pressure brings the rain on Thursday, back clears way into central parts of Europe on Friday. We tried to generate a ridge, but low pressure with a jet stream remains pretty strong to the northwest of the country, keeping it unsettled for Scotland and Northern Ireland. Nevertheless, we do have a little bit of a ridge here for England and Wales, so it should be drier over the weekend and a little bit warmer down there, but never settles in the north. And then as we go through inside of next week, again, it's that idea of a deterioration with the high pressure, but it's close to the southwest, pulling off into the central part of the Atlantic and allowing this low pressure to push down over the country. So again, we open the doors to sort of northerly flows next week, and low pressures within the flow, so cool and unsettled conditions through next week. We end up on day 10, Thursday the 21st of May, just approaching the bank holiday weekend, of course. I started the updates for the bank holiday weekend on the events page last night. as we approach the bank holiday weekend, the ECMWF wants to start trying to throw up a little bit of a ridge from the Azores high again. But this still looks like a generally unsettled pattern. We've got low pressure over Scandinavia, we've got low pressure in the central part of the Atlantic. So I think this ridge, its days are probably none, but it may last a day or two. But I would suggest that the pattern is still pretty unsettled, and this low pressure is likely to come back in with the jet stream. So the overall sort of picture as we go out in towards the latter stage of May is for the conditions to stay quite cool and quite unsettled as well. And we just had the latest update from the UK Met Office model for the summer. This updated this morning, I think, so it's hot off the press. This is the sea level pressure anomaly for the summer, and it doesn't look great really. We've got the above average pressure here being indicated around Greenland and Iceland, northern blocking. Whenever you get that in summer, it's normally bad news. So the green colours here across Central Europe and down to the south of the country indicating low pressure through many parts of Europe. And the flow would be going something like that. So it's a cool and unsettled pattern being seen by the UK Met Office model for the summer. Not very good at all. Now, of course, these longer range models are always highly experimental, and this is only one model anyway. We'll have a look at all the long range models when we do the final summer forecast, which will be at the end of the month. The third and final update from Gazoviz, which will include our forecast for the summer. That will come right at the very end of the month, and this will be included in that update, of course, but we'll have all the other models to go out as well. But just taking that model alone, it's not a great looking signal for the summer. So the conditions that we've got at the moment, they may go on for some time. Hopefully they won't last the whole of the summer, but they may last quite a while if the UK Met, anyway, is right. That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.